Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So, we are revisiting a unit that I have actually never done a video on, which is kind of unbelievable. You'd think after three and a half years I must have covered almost every unit in the game by this point, but apparently not. I have always missed the Sipahi, never got them done, never did them in Season 4 when they came out, and for some reason I've always studiously avoided them since. Probably because they are pretty terrible. But they recently got a buff, or a bit of a rework, which changed some of their abilities and stats, and has actually made them a little bit more usable. So they're a full blunt damage cavalry. You can actually see this in their stats. See 1700 blunt pen and 1200 blunt damage. But more commonly, I guess people would call them like the STOMPY Cav, because of their abilities. And actually it's their abilities that have been changed. So they used to have something called Quick Charge. Well, it was effectively just a charge, but it's just been basically upgraded so they get an increase of 15% movement speed in the charge now. So the charge is just very slightly more effective. But whilst they're now charging, you'll notice on the same one key, you get the option to use Impassioned. So basically, if you charge through a unit, do damage, press Impassioned, any units that's taken damage from the charge within 3 seconds, then you use Impassioned, they get stunned for 4.5 seconds and you're doing 30% more damage to them. And your Impassioned is a little bit like your Crupade, your Stomp. So you basically end up with 2 Stomps. But more importantly than this, the Stomp, which is your 2 ability, which before didn't have any sort of CC immunity, which basically meant that if you activated it, but say a short sword ran into the middle and jumped, it would cause stun on all the calves and they'd basically stop doing their stomping ability. But now, they're getting 1 second of CC immunity, so that means they can basically get this stomp off without being interrupted. Obviously, short of dying. It doesn't work if you charge into the front of a unit of Fortebrashiers. But you get the idea. So it means the unit can do its damage a lot more effectively. Actually, yeah, I mean, it kind of works. My experience with them so far says they're not amazing. Don't get me wrong, they're not exactly now rivaling Keshigs, they're still reasonably bad, but on the patch notes it said they were the second least used unit in the game, prior to this buff, and I can understand why, but now they do at least feel like a usable unit, and you can get kills with them, and you can certainly take down enemy heroes with them from time to time. I've not got a lot going on in terms of doctrines, just thrown on the extra blunt damage. I'm not entirely sure if this doctrine, which is the Sipahi specific doctrine from Season 4, is still valid because it refers to short charge. And obviously now it's gone from that sort of quick charge to charge. But hopefully that's still giving me the 4 second cooldown. Obviously a little bit of extra unit damage and a little bit of extra health for, well, why not? Every little helps in that regard, right? Although you could probably actually stick on an assassination doctrine just to make them slightly more effective against enemy heroes. In terms of unit kit cost, obviously you have horse and unit, so these are a little bit more expensive than just running a normal unit. And actually, at 4,400 for a unit kit, they're actually relatively expensive as it goes for a heroic era unit, but there we go. So I think that's all I've got to say on them, so let's hop into some battles with them, see what we can do, see who we can stamp on with our horses and our long maces on some sticks. I think my biggest problem with this unit, and it's the same with most cav, but these specifically, is that I tend to just get one use out of them, and then they die. I don't tend to often be able to extricate them from the situation and sort of live, although there are kind of exceptions to that. This is initially kind of one of them. So we come up, the enemy are starting to threaten the back of our supply point. I'm initially going to go and just about to charge, and I actually changed my mind because I wanted to get the full unit up the stairs first. They don't need much of a charge run up, they're not like monastics in that way. Straight in, quite a good bit of damage on the charge in, using my my one ability after the charge, following up by my Crupade. And nice, we actually pick up sort of 30-40 kills pretty quickly, and actually we managed to get out with sort of 2/3 of the unit still alive. So it actually went pretty well for us, and we successfully helped defend the supply point there from the push. We then get the unit healed up on the actual supply. I go to have a little bit of a check around the corner. I wasn't sure if anything else was going to push, but didn't look like there was anything really there. So I can push back down on A. We have some Keshigs coming in. And these don't really do very well against Keshigs, but if you get a rear charge, you have some potential. You do a little bit of damage, but really not much there. Most of them actually get killed by the range before they can get out. get out of the A point anyway. I then sort of start pulling the unit through and head back towards B, trying to use some of their mobility. He's kind of shocked that the unit is still alive even at this point, so not quite sure what to do with them. But as we come around, this is really where I make my mistake. I should have waited to see if they actually pushed convincingly down the stairs, because these stalwarts stop short. And yeah, we get in and we get a little bit of damage as we land, pick up a kill or two, but actually it means we end up getting caught basically on the bottom of that stairs by the enemy heroes, and that basically kills us there completely. A couple of the units survive, but really not a lot, and that really spells the end there. We thankfully get revenge on the enemy hero, and we do get to chase his retreating stalwarts up the stairs, which did at least make me feel a little bit better about losing the rest of my Sipahis. So on to the second clip, and we're being pressured pretty heavily right from the off on the D point. So that's where I'm heading. And this is just a really short clip because I thought it was quite interesting because it was a tier 5 unit basically encountering, although admittedly it is the Shield Maidens. I'm kind of curious how they would have held up if I hadn't have got the stun in, but I come in, get my unit set up on the charge, I then wheel back around and use my dismount skill to cause knockdown. See, so we get the knockdown on the Shield Maidens, and look how quickly and how much damage we do. And that's the benefit of this AoE. Unfortunately, that damn shortbow gets away. I try and go for it, but get clipped by the Reaper charge on the way in. And unfortunately, I don't get the kill. Although we do get the kill on the hammer. But you can see the vast amount of AoE damage you get there on what is like a 28 stack unit, I think, with Shield Maidens. So that's really quite impressive for what this unit actually is. Up against some Iron Reapers, pretty much wipes them out one on the charge. It's not a full stack, some of them are already up the stairs, but still a half stack of Iron Reapers. It's kind of nice to show that it can at least do damage against things like Reapers. Reapers are becoming a really dominant unit in the game at the moment, so we're seeing quite a lot of them. So yeah, I was quite pleased that it actually could take them out. And I think that is kind of what sums up the unit is for me. They're okay now. They're still not great. You're going to have some good moments with them. I've certainly had some enjoyable charges. And it's lovely when you get in and you do your little stompy around thing. It's quite satisfying, quite enjoyable. But a lot of the time, you know, is it better than Armigers? Which is probably the most comparable, at least cost-wise, leadership unit. No, Armigers are a better cavalry unit in most situations. I suppose these guys have slightly more forgiveness in terms of when you play badly. Because these guys do just get in and just stomp around. And obviously the CC immunity that you get from that stomp makes it kind of easier to get a base amount of damage in, because you should get some damage and some kills with the stomp, even if you don't really do all that much, whereas Armigers, you know, you can just run into the front of them down and immediately die. But just to finish off on this clip, starting to get pressured, lost the A point, and as they're starting to pressure us up, I think, well, I don't really want to wait around here, so I pulled the unit back to the supply point. But actually, as we're doing that, we start to get pressured a little bit, and we actually start to push back out of the supply. So I kind of think, maybe I don't really need to be going back. But then I send the unit back again. I changed my mind. Thought, no, is it really worth it? And that really was a mistake, because this is going to be the best place really to use these Sipahi in this situation. The final point, you know, not really all that cav friendly. And since we actually have quite a good chunk of the team here basically actively defending this supply, then it actually makes more sense to try and make use of them here. Trying to decide if the team is going to hold or if it's going to pull back suddenly. But they don't really seem to be. We do get some enemy Reapers coming in, which is a bit more of a problem. But the Reapers face the problem of which way do they go, and they actually end up getting themselves pretty sandwiched. And the Reapers actually go down really fairly quickly. They don't end up doing all that much. And actually the team starts to push in, and I think, oh god, there's actually an opportunity here. Now I wish my unit was here. Now, not all the way back on the release supply point at the back of the map. Takes them a little bit of a while to get round. They're a decent speed cav, but they're not the fastest cav in the game. Certainly no Keshigs. So we push on through, there's a couple of little bits left, but not really much. And it just goes straight for these Pavis. Just line straight up, go for them, trying to keep my hero alive just long enough to get them lined up. Get the charge straight through, the Pavis get flattened immediately, take out the enemy bow hero. But unfortunately there's just a few too many enemy heroes here, being shot by quite a few short bows and ranged. And with the musket, it isn't enough, unfortunately, to just take me out. We do go on to get one more kill though, I think. They swing around a couple of Pavis. I thought, oh, go on, get that poleaxe. I wonder if they can just finish him off. But they then kind of scatter the four winds. But a little bit of fighting continues for a while as they kind of go around and still get the odd kill or two. But yeah, Sipahi. For these sort of 15 games or so I've been playing with them, I've enjoyed them, but they're not amazing. I don't think they're worth going out your way to... And there it is. There's the kill. I knew it was coming. They're not really worth going out of your way to unlock if you haven't got them unlocked already, I don't think. I think there's better cavalry out there at the moment. But anyway, hopefully you found the video enjoyable. If you did, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. We've still got to look at things like the Imperial Shields, we've got the updated tertiaries which I want to have a look at. I want to go back to Iron Reapers as well. We're seeing them really regularly on the battlefield at the moment, so there's something else that I want to take a look at. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you all on the next one.